Is your father still alive?
Yeah, my pop's still alive, yeah.
Good relationship with your father?
We have a good relationship. I think it's more, my dad's more, he's a strong person. And we used to call him, there's two names, but we used to call him Al Pacino and Scarface. He acts just like him. And Fidel Castro, because he's such a dominant person, and he's so like, I want things done my way, you know, that type of man.
Dictator feel?
All the way through, you know, everything he says is correct, and you're not having a say in it. He's just politically correct all across the board. But yeah, we have a good relationship, and I think more now as I got older. I mean, when I was younger, you know, when he went away for almost 10 years. So at age 7, they took him from me. So when he came home, I was already my own man.
17?
Yeah, so it was like he was trying to tell me. I mean, he came back so humble. I think my mom took advantage of that, you know what I'm saying? So I remember one time, I think he was starting to go back into his old ways, and he was trying to tell me what to do, and I'm like, you don't tell me what to do, man, you crazy, I'm my own man. And that's when I started to realize, if I think about it now, that's wrong, because first I was your dad. And I just didn't want no man telling me what to do or how to talk to me. And that's exactly what happened with my pops. But we got a good relationship now, man. You know, I tell him all my things, and he always tells me all the time, you know, be careful with your friends, with so-called friends. You think you got friends, you know, people are envious of you, you know, especially knowing the kind of cars you drive, how you are, you know, being in the public eye now. You know, they say you can't have a friend that wants your lifestyle. And that's one of the most realest things he has ever told me, you know, so be careful. And he's a dope dude now, man.
Now, with your father, what was he charged with that put him away for 10 years?
He a dumbass guy. I mean, you know, he was crazy too. You know, he wanted similar shit that I did. He actually, his stupidness, he was out with his boys. And his boys, my dad was a really a cowboy type of dude. He really was about that action. If you wanted smoke, he was gonna give you smoke right then and there, broad daylight, anytime, however you want it. He will make sure you felt it right then and there. And he had a shotgun in his trunk. The car was registered to him. The shotgun was his, obviously. It was in his trunk, and he was with his boys. It was supposed to be going uptown to go pick up some towels. Back then, you know, in them terms, man, my pops was Cuban, so you already know he was moving around like that. And from what I heard, you know, I was young, I was super young, so I didn't know my mom was walking around. She was carrying 4 kids, toddlers at that time. So from what I heard, and he told me, they robbed this guy, and he ended up being a court officer. So they went to a restaurant and used one of his cards, and when they came out laughing and thinking it was cool, they had an entire precinct waiting for them outside that restaurant. And everybody snitched on him and said it was his car, his shotgun. So you already know he caught the max, while the dudes came off for like 6 months, 3 years, and he just did the whole 10.
That was state or federal?
State. What was
your communication with him while he was locked up?
I mean, I was real attached to my dad at that time. You know, he treated me very well. You know, he said, I remember when them Ninja Turtles was popping. He used to take me to every store all the time to buy them. You know, every time I was always up and down with him, taking me to restaurants. He really loved me as a son. He was so involved with me. He was such a loving dad. So, you know, him leaving me was like leaving me, you know, alone. And, you know, now my mom was going through depressions, and, you know, she didn't know how to be a mom. So my savior wasn't there. And my dad, when he left us, you know, I was always crying. And, you know, being a young man at that time, you know, they say don't cry, but, you know, I was so young. I was 7 years old. You know, I didn't know what it was to have no father around. And, you know, now you dealing with multiple men coming in and out your house. And that was my turning point, you know. So, you know, you're the oldest of the 4 siblings, and you wanted to protect your 2 sisters and your younger brother. But it was hard because my mom went into a depression state where she started drinking all the time, doing drugs. So now she became this woman that didn't take care of her kids, didn't watch over her kids, so it was like me fending for them. And I started working at age 7, so missing my dad in that moment was when I lost it all. I felt like, now I have to be a man at such a young age. 7 years old, you in the streets, you know what I'm saying? You trying to look for a job. I remember my job clearly. It was like down the block. I asked the supermarket called La Placita de Mocha to pack bags if I could make some money. And I was straight from school going there, packing bags on a daily basis. And, people throw me $1, 25 cents, but whatever it was, I was making ends meet to go back home with it and to buy cereal and Sunny D and some milk and some chicken and some plantains at the time to try to, to support my family, which is my siblings, my brothers and sisters. So not having a dad at the time, it definitely was effective for me, So I missed him a lot. I was always trying to write to him, and maybe my pen game wasn't as good as it is now, but, I used to draw little pictures and let him know I missed him. And, sometimes I used to sit, at that, they used to feed you, these lies that, if you see a shooting star one day, you're looking at the sky, and, I used to always sit by that window. And I think I saw a shooting star, and I wish my dad come home soon. And that was how much I miss my pops, like I said, it made me a man earlier because now I am who I am, and I guess it's God's plan, you know what I'm saying?
What about like phone calls and stuff?
At that time, man, I think we couldn't even afford to keep our phone on. I'll be honest, man. I mean, sometimes my mom, she would just rather drink, and, that welfare check would go into drinking and partying. And, the lights would get cut off, phone won't be on, sometimes we used to, pay phones it was.
What about visitation? Were contact visits allowed?
Well, we saw our dad sometimes, but, my mom was so destructive, man, and, I love my mama very much, but, it's hard for a woman to carry 4 toddlers, 4 toddlers to go see a man 3 hours, 4 hours away. It just became an issue, and then the further he went up, like 6 hours, 7 hours, she couldn't do it no more. Then she was already exhausted, and she said, nah, she ain't doing it no more.
Was it awkward when you first saw him back in Free Society for the first time and after his release?
I was excited. It wasn't awkward. It was a moment of relief, and you finally get a part of you that you've been missing, and I was excited more because I wanted to show him I became a man, and I was happy about that, So it wasn't awkward. It was a sense of excitement. Just having, now you got both parents, and you felt that it would work, but it didn't work, but I still got both parents around, and, it was definitely something life-changing, and I was looking forward to.
It was a little bumpy because, kind of like when you stated in the beginning of the segment, even when I asked you if you had a good relationship, you said it got better over. How did it get better? I
got older and wiser, You know what they say, at a young age, you think you know it all. You're confrontational, you think you know. Now, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm my own man. I make my own money. So it was that, I guess, It was probably that.
I see. So you maybe opening up, being more accepting, trying to make things work on your end, or him trying to make it work to get this relationship a little bit better?
It grew. It just grew into it. It blossomed on its own,
Okay.
2 people just get together, genuinely, and, I knew that was my father, Now we greet each other cordially. Hey, how you doing? How's your day? That's how everything went.
What about Father's Day?
What about Father's Day?
Favorite Father's Day memory, if you have one?
My kids, my baby giving me a gift. That's my favorite Father's Day. Those are my memories, I don't remember me engaging in it with my dad because I didn't have him around for so long. So I remember my baby. She gives me something. Those are my favorite Father's Day moments.
Referring back to your father, though, what's one thing your dad did for you that you will never forget?
He's taking some McDonald's. Taking some McDonald's and buying my Ninja Turtles.
You did mention the Ninja Turtle stuff earlier.
Yeah.
What's the best advice your father has ever given to you?
you can never be friends with someone that wants your lifestyle. That wants your life. Never.
Did he ever do music himself?
Nah, but he was in love with Juan Liguera. He swore he was the Spanish dude all the time. He used to buy these hats with the flower wraps. He really thought he was that man, though. So, nah, it didn't come from him.
Was he supportive of your music career choice?
My parents were never supportive of anything I did. They wasn't involved with who I was and what I've done. They just, oh, okay, no doubt. That's it.
I see. What about at this point? Are they more supportive now, or is it still the same kind of
Nah,
feeling?
they're super excited now. They tell everybody, my son he's a famous kid, he's a celebrity. They talk all crazy about me now. Now they're very supportive of everything I do.
What was the turning point? Was it the TV show or something before that?
I think when they started seeing me in magazines, you know, TV show, probably added but when people start telling them, like, we saw your son, is that your son? Is your son on TV? So now when everything, you know, you got people always telling them, like, oh, what the hell's going on? So I never told them anything. So the fact that people always coming to them and telling them, oh my God, we saw your son. And then girls will find out that the mom knew my mom. And, you know, that whole craziness, that's really where everything was the turning point at.
Now, it's one thing for a parent to be supportive of their child and what they do. It's another to actually like what they do. So in this instance, it's one thing to be supportive of a music career choice. Mm-hmm. It's another to like your actual music. Does your dad like your actual music?
My dad, he likes Spanish music, so he's more like, he don't listen. You know what he telling me? I don't listen to that shit. I don't listen to rap. I don't listen to R&B. You know, so my dad's just my dad. My mom is my mom. She loves my music. She loves who I am. She's supportive of who I am now. And it was something they just came through time. They accepted it because it was something that I was just doing, you know, so.
Have you ever made a song about your dad yet?
Nah, but I penned something down. And hopefully, you know, in my project, it's called It's About Time. You know, it's about time, meaning, you know, I was heard, I was seen, you know. So the album's called It's About Time, and there's a record in there that I penned for him. And it, you know, it's going through my trials and tribulations. It's more like thank you for the pain. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the pain. It's like a rose. You need them thorns, man, so you can appreciate how beautiful it is. It's like a woman, right? You gotta appreciate her craziness before you can appreciate anything else.